Happy Friday, everyone. Well, it's going to be a dry day and a warmer day across Wisconsin. And no, that's not an April Fool's joke. Don't worry, I won't be messing with that today. Again, what a difference this morning compared to yesterday morning across southern Wisconsin. Some nice sunshine, no snow coming down. In fact, no snow anywhere in the state. It is going to be a quiet morning. Nothing to slow you down for the morning commute, but a little bit on the cold side, but fortunately in the afternoon, things are going to get better. Let's jump all the way to homebound commute. 5 o'clock this afternoon, that's about the time we'll be hitting our high temperatures. Notice that we're going to see a little bit of variety across southern Wisconsin, maybe only reaching the low 40s around the Racine-Kenosha area, but around La Crosse, Winona, probably reaching the upper 40s. Same thing up around Chippewa Falls. Notice it's still dry. The cloud cover is starting to thicken up in the western part of the state, but a lot of sun for much of the state throughout the day. And the other thing, not windy today. There's not going to be much wind, so not a wind chill factor, so it's really going to feel like these temperatures. I'm going to stop this at 9 o'clock. Why? Because I think that's when the precipitation starts to push into the state. Someplace like Chippewa Falls, you have the opportunity finally to start seeing a little bit of rain coming down, but I also want to stress that for most, particularly in southern Wisconsin, it's going to be dry for your Friday evening plans. Unless you're out really late. Let's jump ahead to 4 a.m. I think when most are going to be asleep. But notice how it's really starting to fill in. Now, probably still dry Madison, Janesville, maybe even Beaver Dam, Racine-Kenosha, but really kind of seeing a lot of activity coming down around La Crosse, Chippewa Falls. And I do think, though it's a rain-snow mix, I think we're going to be leaning more towards the snow at this point with those temperatures sitting in the mid-30s. Now, 8 a.m. tomorrow, that's when it really starts to push in for places like Baraboo, Portage, Madison, and still pretty much in the thick of it in La Crosse. They're starting to back off in Chippewa Falls. Meanwhile, Racine-Kenosha, you could still very well be dry at this point. And I tell you what, it's going to be more difficult to see snow in Racine-Kenosha. Let's go ahead a little bit farther in time. How about lunchtime? Notice how we warm a little bit. So I will call it a rain-snow mix for Racine-Kenosha, but probably leaning a little more towards the rain. Meanwhile, Madison, lean a little bit more towards the snow because temperatures are going to be colder. Now, I will say for around Chippewa Falls, Winona, La Crosse, it's going to be breezy, but I still think for a lot of southern Wisconsin, the winds aren't going to be very strong tomorrow. So when there's snow coming down, it's not going to be a lot of blowing snow. Notice there could be pockets of heavy snow out there, mostly light to moderate snow, but at periods, it will be coming down at a pretty good clip. So that's noon. Let's go a little bit farther in time. By 4 o'clock, we're going to be past the peak of the activity. But still, notice that our temperatures are going to try and warm up again. So again, though the morning hours bring us our best opportunity of seeing snow, there's still a chance throughout the day, but I will say as we get into the mid-afternoon hours, it's more likely going to be rain coming down versus snow. So now let's go for your Saturday evening plans. And notice that the bulk of the activity really is going to be over with. That said, I do have to mention there could be some leftover stray snow flurries or light rain showers, but it's certainly not going to be enough to cancel any Saturday evening plans because there's a pretty good chance that you'll stay dry. But I just want to mention it until about midnight. That's when all the precipitation clears us. And as far as how much snow we're going to see, I tell you what, I think the majority of us from north to south are going to be seeing less than an inch of snow. That said, there could be a few spots that are in that 1 to 2 inch range. And I will say it's kind of looking like places like Madison and maybe around Baraboo have the better chance of perhaps seeing 2 inches of snow. It just depends on how long you're in that snow zone. And it could end up being that places like Madison and Baraboo could wind up closer to 2 inches. Not a guarantee. And I do think more than likely most places are going to be less than an inch. And this is going to be a pretty wet snow. And so it's going to be difficult. That 2 inches may fall, but as far as actually measuring that on the ground with all the melting going on, probably not going to happen. So yeah, I know Saturday doesn't sound too great, right? Well, Sunday is going to be better. And I will say that Sunday is looking, no matter where you are in Wisconsin, like the better outdoor day. Yes, there is a chance of rain in southern and northern Wisconsin, but it is not until the late afternoon. The morning will be dry, the early afternoon will be dry, but I just want to mention the chance for a few showers sneaking back in during the late afternoon. In southern Wisconsin, the average high is going to be 44 degrees and not much wind. It's only around 5 miles per hour, so absolutely no wind chill factor. Not the prettiest day overall. It is going to be a mostly cloudy day, and the story is much the same. In the northern part of the state, the average high, actually a degree warmer. 45 degrees, mostly cloudy, winds just 5 to 10 miles per hour, and just a few showers popping up in the late afternoon.